Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.
This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. When it comes to people from St. Louis who have made it big, and I mean Big Lebowski big, there's a name that deserves a place at the top of the list, and that's actor John Goodman. The Affton native came to prominence with his portrayal of Dan Connor on the 80s and 90s sitcom Roseanne. His credits also include unforgettable characters in films like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, over a dozen turns hosting Saturday Night Live, and voicing Sully in Monsters, Inc. His screen chops make him famous. What's made him beloved in his hometown is the way he's always kept the St. Louis area close to his heart. And next Sunday, December 17th, he'll be back to help the Repertory Theater of St. Louis with a holiday benefit aimed to close a dire budget shortfall. I asked him how the Rep's financial situation came to his attention.
It came to me through a publicist, my publicist. I think they were grasping at straws looking for any possibilities they could do for a fundraiser appeal, that kind of thing. And I said, well, I'll do whatever I can, which ain't much, but I'm there for them.
And what are some of the memories that you have about the Rep?
I auditioned there 3 times. And the first 2 times, I think I sabotaged myself. I was in the middle of a monologue from Henry V, and I just could not remember it. So I had to keep stopping, and it was horrible. The second time was a little better. The third time, they actually offered me a job in the children's theater section, which was great. I had just got my equity card, and the possibility of something else arose, so I went back to New York. But it was, I'm sorry things didn't turn out the way I would have liked to have done Rep and learned more. That's an advantage that the English have over our actors, is they actually get to work in a subsidized theater, but there are plenty of repertory companies all over the country where one actually learns how to act. And I might have learned how to act had I been there.
Well, it seems like you've certainly found your way to learning in different
You'll never
places.
convince me of that.
Well, live theater, and you've brought up what it is like in the UK. Live theater here in the U.S. is really struggling. Federal funding for COVID relief has run dry, and ticket sales and donation levels just have not rebounded post-pandemic in ways that organizations like the Rep both really want and, frankly, that they need. You talked about these theaters as being places to learn and to practice. What other purposes does live theater serve?
They serve writers. People with ideas can connect with their community and see that they get their plays done, or try to, or get them heard, listened to. They're very supportive of writers. They sponsor open readings from time to time so that playwrights can get their words heard. On the side of being an outstanding place to learn how to act, they're vital to the communities. I would hate to think of theater as just a luxury. It's such a special place. It's, to coin a cliche, it is magical, and when it works, it cooks on all burners. There's something about going into a place and the lights are going down and you don't know what's going to happen. And what happens is immediate, and it's gone forever. Mm-hmm. It's never going to happen the same way twice. It's exciting. If you're on stage, I always feel like I'm in danger of forgetting my next line. No, there's a real thrill and excitement stepping out in front of people who want to be there, who want to support each other, and live in the same world for a little while.
Mm-hmm. And how is it, John, that you first fell in love with the stage? And Was it an immediate sort of love at first sight sort of situation, or was it a slower burn?
It was slow, and then it wasn't. It took off like a skyrocket. The first play I ever went to was at the Muni Opera. My brother took me and my sister to see. Oh God, I just remember. I forgot the name of it. Flower Drum Song. I almost said Tower Grove Song.
That would be appropriate too. So
And
Flower Drum Song.
Yeah, it was just huge in scope, and the immediacy of it hit me. Although I don't think I would have used those terms, but yeah, I kind of floated out of the place. I started doing plays in high school, and it was kind of the only thing I was good at. I wasn't a very good jock. Or I liked hitting people and being on the team and everything, but it wasn't where my strength laid. And in kind of desperately searching for where I fit into things, it just felt like an easy groove, and it was fun to do. And I started in high school, and went to Merrimack for a year and flunked my first acting class.
Oh, you flunked it.
Yeah, I didn't turn in the necessary paperwork
Okay.
because I'm lazy. And then from there, I transferred to what was then Southwest Missouri State College in Springfield, Missouri. And then I got my doors open there. Found out what theater can be, what the purpose is, and it took over my life.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God. Well, and thank God for us too. So all that time in Missouri, you're growing up in Affton, a suburb in South St. Louis County, and then you mentioned being an Affton high school student, a cougar, graduating from Missouri State University. How is it that all of that together informed specific roles that you played in your career?
A large one is one I picked up again about 6 years ago from the television show Roseanne, playing a guy trying to keep everything together and working real hard at drywall and construction, and just like a lot of guys I knew.
Yeah.
I took a lot of those people and carried them on my back with me when the cameras rolled, and I'm still doing it to this day.
And what kind of guys did you know growing up in Affton, John?
None of them have been convicted to my knowledge. Just, normal folks, folks that are still around in the area, guys from all fields. Just, it's amazing looking back now and seeing how everybody's grown up. And when I see old guys like me, they still look like they did when they were in high school. It's so weird. I can still see them when they're kids.
And do people, they'll recognize you because you are John Goodman, but, have you also recognized people when you are here from your time growing up?
That's who I seek out, is my friends from the area. And every once in a while, I'll see a face and go, where do I know that from? And dig it out of the files. It'll come to me about 2 weeks later. But yeah, I do recognize them. And yeah, I really miss St. Louis. I never get back there enough, and that's kind of a heartbreaker for me because I really love the area, and I love growing up there. And it's got everything to offer. Times has changed, but times always change.
Most people know you for your work on screen, and that includes both TV and film, as well as your voice work too. Like as I'm listening to you, it's taking me to Monsters, Inc. And from what I understand, the way that you do your work for the screen seems to really have a connection with what you've described about the experience of being on stage. Is that true?
It's different. You don't have to talk quite so loud. The camera will pick up what you're thinking. And that you better be you better have your mind right, or you're just wasting people's time. It's a great exposer of truth. The best description I ever heard of it was hit your marks, look the other guy in the eye, and tell the truth.
That's actor John Goodman. We need to take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk with the Affton native about what he's doing now, some of his most memorable work, and more. This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio. Let's return to my conversation with actor and Affton native John Goodman. He'll be back in town Sunday, December 17th for the Rally for the Rep Holiday Benefit. The Repertory Theater of St. Louis faces a deep financial crisis. This fall, the theater company canceled 2 productions and announced a $2.5 million budget shortfall. The December 17th event at the Loretto Hilton Center on the campus of Webster University promises an intimate conversation with Goodman and other entertainment. I understand that today was your first day back to work after the end of the Hollywood strike. What is it that you're working on?
A television show I've been doing. It's a spin-off of the old Roseanne show. It's called The Connors on ABC. Mm-hmm. And it's the same family. We picked it up again in 2017. Golly, it's been 6 years. And yeah, that's what I started working back on. I usually click into a place where the lines come a little easier. But I've been off since St. Patrick's Day, and I'm starting to get nervous about that. But we'll get through it. We've got a great cast this week. The great Estelle Parsons plays my mother-in-law, and she's coming in for it. She's 96, I believe.
Wow.
And she still teaches at the Actors Studio. Mm-hmm. And she's just incredible.
So, John, you've talked about the ingredients necessary for acting. What is it that you still find, challenging and exciting about it, even after all these years of success?
I overthink things now. I want to make things better that a lot of times are better off left alone. Mm-hmm. And it's knowing how to turn that off and let it ride and just relax with whoever you're working with. Relaxation is truly the only way to do it. It's that's when everything comes to the fore. And you play a little game.
Mm-hmm. So in this game, and you've been at the game for quite a long time.
Almost 50 years.
Yeah, and you've got a prolific career with so much range and just a tremendous body of work. When you look back on all that you've done, is there anything that stands out to you as work that you appreciate?
There are a couple things. I did a play called American Buffalo in London a few years ago. It really stands out for me. It's the excitement of doing something on the London stage, and the dialogue was really difficult. But just to squeeze all that into a month of rehearsal, a month of previews, and then being relaxed enough to feel the rewards of it. The rewards are almost immediate. I really look at that as a highlight. And then working, I was lucky enough to work with Joel and Ethan Coen quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And that any of their films stands out as a highlight for me because the writing is so good.
We've actually got a colleague here who has a felt message board at her desk that proclaims that the dude abides. So the Big Lebowski is, it's certainly a classic, and I think it turned 25 this year, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey I think, turned 76 yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure the age, 75 or 76, and he's had some health battles lately, but he's an incredible spirit.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful man.
So among all of the work that you've done, when people see you on the street, out in public, are there certain lines that they say to you?
Yeah, we can't repeat them right here, but
Oh, we're on tape. It's okay. You can
mostly,
repeat them.
yeah, mostly from Big Lebowski. One of the most prominent one is "Shut the up, Donnie." But yeah, that was it. And the one of the cartoons people seem to really like, Monsters Inc.
Yes.
I get a lot of when people bring their kids up to me, that they'll tell them I'm Sully.
Oh.
Which is the character I played, and the kids love it. I mean, I babysat my daughter with Warner Brother cartoons and Disney stuff when she got older, when they started putting the musicals out. And she'd watch those damn things 25 times in a row and then want more.
So your work, it clearly then means different things to different generations. And that must mean a lot.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it feels great to have been able to entertain people. Yeah, it's just a job. It's a craft. And it's extremely rewarding. It could be, it can also bring you a heartbreak. I've watched a lot of friends over the years just either give up or, and people with so much talent who just weren't being hired and found they had it. I don't know why I went into that, but.
Well, having a long career means that you have seen and experienced a lot, both directly and through the people that you've come to know.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of my great memories are from working on films during the downtime. The people I've worked with, I got to work with Peter O'Toole for a summer, Al Pacino a few times. He was my hero when I was getting started. Actually tried to call Al from Springfield, Missouri, when we saw Godfather 2. They weren't giving out his number that day. But yeah, I got to do a couple of movies, television show, and a play with Al. And Alan Arkin was another one. Rod Steiger. Just all these guys, Ed Asner, just wonderful people, and just opening up and getting to listen to them talk. Yeah, it's a screwy business, but we all do our best to keep sane.
Well, and given all that you have done, I'm sure that there are people who would name you as someone who's been an influence, someone that they've loved to work with. Are there things that you would like to accomplish still?
Yeah, there's a couple of plays that I'd like to do. That's all I can think of right now. But just anything with good writing. And I'd like to go. I don't see this television show running forever. And I do another one. I'll start another one in April. Another television show I've been doing called The Righteous Gemstones in South Carolina. And when they phase out, I'm going to concentrate on theater for a while. And
which plays are they, or are there certain playwrights that you'd like to work with? David
Mamet, and the one that keeps coming in the back of my mind, although I try to talk myself out of it, was A Long Day's Journey into Night. It's masterful, and it'd be nice to be able to climb that mountain while I'm still working.
Is that something you would come to do in St. Louis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You're among a handful of celebrities, John, with St. Louis roots, who are known to appreciate time here and to help out when you can. A few years back, you supported Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, for instance, and then you were also featured in Explore St. Louis's In the Know series. Why is it that rallying for your hometown is important to you? And of course, we are talking about your support for the Rep, but also for other organizations and causes?
Times change, and sometimes change is harsh and unexpected. And you have to keep up with the times to adapt to them. And these times, I don't feel like adapting to sometimes. I just want to fight them, which is foolish. It's not the wisest thing to do. But and when that feeling's over, just try to adapt a different look at things. St. Louis has kind of fallen on some hard times, and it's tough to watch, but I could either cry about it in my no alcohol beer or try to do something about it if somebody asks me. And I have no idea what I'm bringing to the game here. I just showing up is important to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do have no alcohol beer in St. Louis. We've talked about it on this show. And you've talked a lot about your love for St. Louis. What are the quintessential St. Louis things that you miss or that you remember most?
Oh, I've got a list of them. A lot of it involves going to Ted Drew's on a summer night. We used to haunt the parking lot there when we were kids. Just driving around and seeing what's changed, getting out, talking to people, and the all-timer is going to Busch Stadium. Mm-hmm. I was lucky enough to, my wife arranged it. The Cardinals played in London this summer, and my wife fixed up the whole thing for me as a birthday present.
Oh, that's
lovely. That was pretty cool. But there's nothing like a night in a stadium. And they were a little hard to watch this year sometimes, but I watch them just about every day.
Right. As you think about your next trip here and coming here as the marquee guest for Rally for the Rep holiday benefit, John Goodman, what outcome would make you really happy?
If I walked out of those doors, changed back to 35 years old, that would make me happy. But in a real version, it'd be good to see people. Maybe you've never been to the theater. Maybe never been. Just show up and see what makes this stuff tick.
Yeah.
What's exciting, and that space is just gorgeous. The Loretto Hilton Theater. I reckon they still call it that. I don't know, but
they do indeed.
It's a beautiful space. But just come on over and educate yourself. And I'm no good at predicting outcomes, but I would love to see enough money be raised where they can continue the quality work that they've done there for over, since this mid-'60s.
Mm-hmm. And celebrate being the place that rejected you twice before giving you a job.
Oh, we're not done with that yet. I'll be rejected from that place more than once.
Okay.
Come and see me get thrown out of the Rep.
All right. We'll see how many tickets we can sell for that.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring an audition piece with me. And people can throw things. But they have to write a check first.
Okay, that's the condition. John Goodman, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Yeah, thanks for letting me talk to you and talk about the benefit a little bit. And hopefully we'll see a lot of people there.
That's actor and Affton native John Goodman. More information about the Rally for the Rep holiday benefit on the evening of Sunday, December 17th at the Loretto Hilton Center is available at repstl.org.
This episode was produced by Emily Woodbury.
Audio engineering and podcast design by Aaron Dorr.
Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
St. Louis on the Air proudly supports local artists by using music from Life Creative Group.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations. And leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thanks.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.